Hello, everyone.
Hey, Will Pagani.
Hi, Lyle Lowry.
And everyone.
And everyone else. We are here with round 2 of the Last Chance Qualifier at WARMACHINE Weekend. And we have a exciting matchup here.
Yeah.
We've got Thagrosh 1 playing in Primal Terrors, being piloted by David Smith, against Morgul 2 in Masters of War, being piloted by Stephen Sill.
So we got a Hordes versus Hordes matchup.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited to see how Morgul 2 does here. He's one of my favorite casters in Scorn. I think he's got an absolutely fantastic model. And after the sort of like OG Scorn remix that happened at the beginning of the edition, I think he's really, really cool.
Right.
So I'm excited to see how this game goes for him. Let's run down the list right quick. You want to take the Primal Terrors one here?
Sure. So the Primal Terrors list is Thagrosh 1, like you were saying. The battle group is Blightbringer and Golab and Emok. He's got a War Chief also, 2 Hellmouths, 3 units of Warmongers, and Gorag.
So this is a lot of Warmongers. Usually you see some Chosen in lists like this or some War Spears and kind of mix it up a little bit.
Right.
But David opted for just all Warmongers.
Just a lot of beef.
I think his plan is just to like run screaming at his opponent, which it'll probably work out just fine.
And we'll see.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And then Steven is playing Morgul 2 with Marketh, an Archidon, a Gladiator, and Tiberian as the battle group Tyrant Radim, a Willbreaker, a Soul Ward, an Immortal Vessel, which he picked up at the store earlier today.
Right.
Ferox, Max, Swordsman Max plus UA, so they have their command attachment, which is super dope. And then a Tyrant and Standard. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Excellent. Brilliant.
All
Here
right,
we go.
so they shake the hands. Time to play the match. And
here we go.
here we go. So this is round 2 of LCQ.
Yep. So pretty standard, putting our battle group here in the middle for Steven. Battle group in the middle, very fast cats there on the side. Willbreaker there to give them the tough steady they so crave.
So what's different about LCQ versus other kinds of tournament events?
So it's big.
It's big.
It's big. Like there's a lot of players in it, right? So that's like a big one. And then it's usually really stressful because this is the last chance qualifier for the Invitational, which starts tomorrow afternoon. So this event goes all day today, and then it starts off again early in the morning tomorrow. And if you win this event, you get the last spot in the Invitational. And you just basically keep playing
forever
for all day tomorrow and then also Sunday. So it pretty much turns into like, I don't know, 16 rounds of WARMACHINE in a row or something.
Right.
Which is grueling, absolutely grueling.
What's the scenario they're playing today?
So we've got Spread the Net here. It's got that central circle zone with kind of the 2 side rectangle zones there. Once again, circle zones are scored by infantry units and things like that. And then the rectangle zones are scored by Warjack's battle group, that kind of stuff. And then the 2 flags there can be scored by solos and casters. This is one of our sort of really control-y aspect scenarios here. You do have a couple things on your side that you can control or that you can score points off of, but we see a lot of people kind of making these big pushes and scoring a lot of control points pretty quickly if they have this kind of control casters that can really, really leverage that. I'm not really sure we're going to see too much of that huge scenario play coming out of either of these lists. Both these lists look like they really want to fight, and they're just going to kind of hang out and grind until they can either get up on their flag and score some points or the opponent runs out of models. So I don't expect this game to go quickly on scenario. But we will see. We will see. This is a lot of Warmongers. David could put a lot of pressure on this board and really just start scoring both of his zones while sort of jamming his opponent out, and we'll see how that goes.
That Blightbringer is a great-looking model.
It is. He's done a really high contrast paint job on it there, which I really like. David Smith is actually one of my locals from back in the day before I started working in Privateer Press.
Oh, really?
So he and I grew up playing WARMACHINE together, I guess.
How about that?
And I'm going to pull up Morgul's card here because I don't want to get anything wrong. Did you know that Morgul 2 got new art in War Room?
No,
I did not know that.
I did
That's
not
cool.
know that
I was
either.
like, hold on, this isn't the right Morgul. But no, he got new art. That's awesome. Very, very cool. But yeah, Shadow Play. Shadow Play is like one of my favorite spells that we've ever made. So,
And we've made a lot of spells.
yeah, and what I like about it is it gives things incorporeal, and you can do a lot of like interesting things when you gain incorporeal randomly during your turn.
Uh-huh.
So it gives a lot of play options to Steven here, where you can get out of free strikes, you can move through things. So like you can charge through the Blightbringer, you can charge through all these Hellmouth tentacles and stuff. And because you can just apply it, and then it also kind of gives it to you at the start of every turn, you can do a lot of really tricky things, which I think is a great play style for a Mogul to have. So
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he uses it.
yeah, for sure. We got those Hellmouths pretty aggressively positioned up there. I think that's good for David. They do have that huge additional deployment going on there.
Right. And David's just explaining to his opponent how the Hellmouth tentacles work. Good to be clear on that kind of stuff, because they are a little bit tricksy.
Yes. Yes. Hellmouths are something that usually are a point of contention with a lot of players. Like during our CID cycle for Legion, there's a lot of arguments about them and where they should be and stuff. But they're definitely a positioning intensive model. So how you put your models close to them will really determine how effective they are and how much they can really do here.
Mm-hmm.
So this Gladiator's just getting right up there. Getting right up there. And really, I think that's probably a fine position there. I would be worried immediately about being pulled in by the Hellmouth and killed, but I think if he gets pulled in, there's not enough stuff close by to actually kill him. So it would probably just be a good thing if that guy did that. And then, of course, Tiberian can't be pushed, so he's immune to Hellmouth tentacles. Whenever I'm playing against Hellmouths, I'm always very careful to kill the tentacles as quickly as possible because they're really annoying, really annoying to deal with. So if you can kill all three of them very quickly, they can only return one per turn, and then it's not so bad to only have to deal with one tentacle versus three tentacles. So I think putting a lot of work into them in the early game is substantial. Whereas I think some people kind of like ignore them because they're not super relevant right now. Like if I had any guns, I would, instead of running or something, I would try and shoot some of those tentacles down.
Uh-huh. So what do you think the game plan is from the Scorn side?
So, I mean, I think these are both super grindy lists. So I think they're both just going to kind of run at each other and stab.
Uh-huh.
But I do think that the Scorn list does have a lot more tricks up its sleeves, right? Like Thyrosh 1, not known for his tricks. He's really just kind of a stats guy. He gives +2 defense against range because he has Fog of War, which is great. I don't think it's going to be super relevant here. There's basically no guns.
There's like no guns here.
In this entire Scorn army. But that's a great spell for Warmongers. It's a great spell for a whole lot of things. And then, of course, I think it's called Death Shroud is the name of the rule that gives you -2 strength while you're in Thagrosh's command area. That one probably a lot more relevant. He's going to keep his Blightbringer close enough for that, probably his Golab. Depending on how Scorn ends up advancing, that might get put over the Hellmouths as well, which will make them incredibly hard to kill. But I would be really careful with any type of like super aggressive positioning with Thagrosh, right? Because that incorporeal spell that we talked about, Shadow Play, can really just get things in weird places, like really weird places. Morgul's feet blinds everything in his control area. I think that is going to be really powerful against these Warmongers because blind models can't move and attack, and they're infantry, so they also cannot shake it.
Right.
So that seems really strong here. And I think he can afford to be pretty aggressive with how he positions Morgul because, like, besides, I guess, like, Thagrosh punching you, right? Like, you're probably going to be fine against the Warmongers unless, like, 10 of them get on you or something. But then I think you've made a huge mistake if you allow that to happen. So I think you can be pretty close to the front and really leverage that apparition and that Shadow Play. So looks like he's already committing to the north side of the board here. And there's our Shadow Play directly onto Morgul there. God, I love it. He's incorporeal. That's so cool.
Ooh.
So cool. And Shadow Play is only incorporeal for the turn, so he will not be incorporeal during David's turn. Oh, but David has Amok, who gets rid of incorporeal in his command area, I believe, which is 10 inches. So that will definitely stop any type of Shadow Play shenanigans until Amok can get taken out. So that's probably a very high priority target if I was Steven that I would be going for, is to remove him so that I can have all my Trixie bits and stuff.
Yeah. So the Warmongers are activating now, the ones on the bottom side of the table on your screen.
Yeah, and they don't have Pathfinders, so they got to go around that forest. And these Warmongers are substantially out-threatened by the Ferox there, so I think he's going to try and spread out, reduce the impact of sort of that alpha strike that he can take there.
Right.
Even though I think this Hellmouth will do a great job of kind of keeping them back, right? Like, they can just get in the way. So I would bet that we're going to have a turn of Ferox kind of stabbing tentacles, getting them out of the way, repositioning back, not engaging these Warmongers. He's put a good, sort of a good bait model right here. These Warmongers have Vengeance, so if you damage one of them, the whole unit gets to advance during the maintenance phase and attack stuff. So this guy is basically running this way and yelling, "Kill me," so that all these guys can get that 3-inch move. And what that does is it breaks up that threat range game that I was just talking about, right? So like these guys are speed 8, they can jump 5, maybe even speed 9, man. So they do a lot of stuff, and that's great. But these guys get a similar threat range at that point if you trigger that Vengeance. And remember, all the units have it, so 1 unit here, 1 unit here, 1 unit here, everybody's got Vengeance. Yep, and we're checking out where our Blightbringer Animus is going to hang out. So it looks like it doesn't actually hit anybody, but some tentacles can go run in there and get any bonuses that it gives. Measuring the sprint range of that Archidon, trying to see if it's gonna be able to get there. Putting a tentacle in the way. So we're just kind of bunkering up. They're talking about the offensive output of the Ferox, which is a really interesting unit. They have Pounce, so if they use their Leap ability, they get an additional damage dice. So instead of charging, they can walk, jump,
or
Pounce, and then they still get that kind of additional damage die. And they have combined melee attack, which they can utilize with their spears and their mounts together to essentially get POW 14 boosted damage attacks each.
And since they can walk jump, the walk jump is actually farther than the charge, and you don't have to do the straight line.
And you can get behind people.
You can get behind people, yeah.
It's just super duper good. We're checking some proxy-based stuff here with GoLab, trying to make it so Tiberian can't see him around that forest. Looks like he's happy with that positioning, so he's committing to that movement. And really, I think what's so great about GoLab is he's pretty quick, and he can kind of play like a yo-yo play behind that forest, which Steven doesn't really have an answer to. Like, he doesn't have anything that can see through the forest. He just has to get around it in normal ways.
Right.
Either trampling in with a gladiator or, like, flanking with different things. But the flank, at least the southern flank here, is covered by that other Hellmouth. And, of course, the Blightbringer, which may end up getting stuck on that wall. Usually when I'm playing a Gargantuan or a Colossal, or anything with 120 mil base, I try and keep it away from walls because they really restrict where that Blightbringer can move. So I'm actually a little surprised David's put that there. And if Steven is adept at dealing with such things, might be able to really trip him up with how that wall is placed.
Right.
And we did have a Fog of War cast because there are a couple spells running around, right? So, whereas there's not too many range attacks, not Flashing Blade. He does have Flashing Blade, but that's not relevant.
Yes.
Mortality is really the relevant one here for sort of what Morgul's game plan is going to be. Normally, people really like Mortality into Primal Terrors because of Chosen, which have that healing ability where whenever they take damage, they automatically heal back D3 points. So if you don't kill them in one hit, your attack is significantly blunted. But there's none in this list. But Mortality is still just a great spell in general against medium-based warriors and stuff. Striker911 in chat has asked, what do you feel is Legion's biggest priority right now? And chat responded, absorbing the potential alpha and positioning to follow up. Yes, I think that is very important. I also think this run to the north here is great, and that's very important because David can stop Steven from scoring that zone if he positions properly. Like, he doesn't have to get in it this turn, but, like, he can stop Steven from scoring that zone, and as long as he can score his flag in his zone, if you see here, like, these Hellmouths, really well positioned to keep this zone clear. And then, of course, this unit of Warmongers, this unit of Warmongers, this Golab are all set up to go this way. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it really hard to commit this way into his army. He can score his own zone. He can score his own flag. This is the War Chief right here, so he can just run right in. And that'll score David 2 points per turn, which is not like a super fast win. Like we saw last round, we saw Sloan win it in basically 1 round. But this will sort of put that pressure on and force Scorn to commit into Legion, which is not normally what happens when you kind of give up the alpha, which is kind of what's happening. So we have, we talked about this bait model. There's another one right here, right? This guy is farther forward because he's like, hey, you can charge me if you want.
Right.
You can punch me, and then all of these guys get vengeance. So just really great positioning coming out from David here. And let's see what Steven does. Another beautiful shot. Look at this little leg. This little leg right here.
Just kind of
It's a beautiful
poking
tree.
out behind the tree.
A beautiful tree leg. I like thinking there's like a little face right here, like one eye, another eye, like a little mouth, and like this weird nose. All about it. And then it's got this leg. And I guess this could be the other leg. It's a beautiful little tree. Here we go. Looks like we upkept Shadow Play there. And how do we think Steven here is going to respond? Marketh now has press forward, so +2 movement when advancing. I wonder where do you think that Marketh is going to go? Like he got sped up, but like,
yeah, like where's he going in a hurry?
I guess it might be to try and put a mortality on this, but that, like, it's 10-inch range, which is probably about there. Like, he already walks, I think, 6, so like that seems like easy peasy. If we wanted that mortality, I mean, I guess you could walk like all the way over here and maybe mortality this way. I don't know. I want to see what that plan is. We just got Puppet Master on the Ferox. Here we go. So that's, yeah. So it looks like that that press forward was to make sure that he gets in that mortality range. A beautiful, beautiful measuring stick from Broken Egg Games with that amazing Desert Hydra art. Love it. All about it. Scorn set, I think, is one of my favorite sets of those measuring sticks because it's just got like really great contrast in it.
Sure.
A lot of like bright skies, bright red armor, really dark like War Beast cracks and stuff. Like
right.
it just looks really, really nice to me.
Yeah, against that like sort of muted desert palette.
Yeah. Really fancy. Yep, so it does look like we're going for that mortality. That seems a little weird to me. I don't know. I'm not sure why like this Hellmouth is the important one. I guess, and that's why it's strange to me. I think I probably would have gone for the mortality on this tentacle right here that's in the center zone. Like, I can't get to the Hellmouth itself, but I guess, I mean, I don't know. It seems like these Ferox are going to try and come in here and kill some stuff, which might, like, clear this Archidon, but I don't know, man. I'm not really... Yes, we just rushed the Archidon there. I'm not sure I'm really ready to commit my Archidon this early. Like, I want Sprint option for Morgul, because it has Lightning Strike as its Animus. So it looks like... I mean, God, I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
We'll see how
We'll
it
see how
goes.
this goes. This to me seems pretty aggressive. Pretty aggressive.
I mean, sometimes you're rewarded for being pretty aggressive.
It's true.
It's a dice game.
It is. It is, right? I just normally always try and stick in and stay very very safe when I play a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. If we kill both these tentacles and lightning strike away, that's probably our best case scenario. If we don't, I think it's a literal disaster.
Uh-huh.
Like, it becomes horrible. So we've got that lightning strike. We are going to get back. We do have long leash to keep us in control there, which is lovely. And like, I'm really worried for this Archidon's life now. like I want to keep this Archidon in this game, but I don't think this is going to go well.
You think this is a reaction from the scenario pressure we were talking about last turn?
I don't know. Like, I don't think Steven's really feeling it yet. Because like, he can set up to score his top zone. Like I don't think you run into this zone right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's switch over to the top view right quick. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah. So these guys, they can threaten. I don't know, probably about there, right? So what you want to do is stay out of that, make them run into the zone, and then you get to kill a lot of them. So if they're going to contest your zone, you get a bunch of attrition advantage, essentially. And it's probably not even likely that they successfully contest your zone where you can't score your points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this zone is pretty easy to score for Steven. This flag is obviously like a gimme for David, right? Like, that's super easy. This flag, there was no real solo. Like, Marketh could have gone over there, I guess. But I probably would have tried to position a solo that was over here that could run to this, and Marketh could run next turn. But I don't think you really want Marketh running, one, and two, I don't think you really want Marketh being the one standing on the flag. I think this Mortithurge, who was hanging out with the Ferox, could have been deployed over here, and then had this as sort of an option for next turn. So we are coming in here. I think they just charged. So hopefully they kill this Hellmouth. So let's see these dice rolls. That's only a 4. Okay, so next guy did 3, or sorry, first guy did 3 points. We scored a hit on our second charge attack. Did 2 more. I think it's got 5 left. 3 points left. Sorry, it's only got 8. And it's dice off 2. It needs to roll a 5.
Looks like I got it exactly if I'm reading them dice right.
All right, 1 Hellmouth down. I think that's a pretty big win for Steven, but he just traded this Archidon for it. Like, this Archidon is in the danger zone right now.
Yeah.
These cavalry,
He's on
kind
the
of in
highway
danger
to the
zone.
danger
Yes.
zone.
Yeah, like, if this was the highway, he took like a detour over here and then returned immediately to the highway.
Right.
I don't like this Ferox being here. I don't like that at all. I like, when I had my 3 guys here, I would put this guy here. I think this is great, and then I'd go this way and this way with the other 2. Like, I think that's fine. Oh, we do have the solo. We have routing. Okay, so Steven's in a great position here. I forgot that he was here. This is a great flag score. This guy's really hard to get off the flag. So David will have to like run a dude over here, which I'm not even sure that guy makes it. That's 6 inches. He only runs 10. So like, I bet he only makes it to there, which probably isn't 4 inches. So I think Steven's going to score this flag, unless something really crazy comes out, like Golab runs over here or something, or like Golab comes over here, kills a guy, and then sprints. Like, that seems like, once again, much like this Archidon, that would put Golab in the danger zone.
That's a lot of resources expended for that.
For 1 control point, right? Like, it doesn't seem like it's worth a whole lot there. So I think Steven's doing fine in terms of scenario. As long as he stays out of there, he'll score his flag. David will score his flag for sure. We got this. We got a really early feat out of Morgul. I don't like this. I think this is 1 turn too early. Yeah, I think this is a way overcommitment of this feat. Like, if this was me, I'd probably be standing in this trench right now. And then, because right, like, I think if you're going to do this, you need to make sure you catch all of these and you commit these swordsmen up here so that you get to kill all of these models next turn.
Uh-huh.
Like you're trying to buy an advantage with this feat. You're not really using it offensively. Like you don't need the mat and stuff, right? So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this feat right here.
So what is he getting out of feeding this turn?
I don't know. I don't think he's getting very much at all out of this feat. I think he's stopping a couple guys from running. I don't think he's gaining that top zone. I don't think he's gaining the middle zone. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Like I think this southern half here was fantastically done, and this seems a little aggressive here, and not a good way. Not a good way. So Morgul has Toad in that zone, which will score it if David doesn't come into it. I mean, I guess you could like run Tiberian up there. I think we blinded Golab because he does not have eyeless sight, so he can't be blinded. And yeah, like I think if you're going to do this feat right now, like Tiberian needs to end up like right here, right? Because then like you blinded all these guys so they can't charge. You blinded that guy so he can't charge. It's like what's going to kill a Tiberian that's right here?
Mm-hmm.
Like Golab can come in here, but he's not going to get behind you, so you're going to have your shield, so you're going to be armor 21. I don't think Golab gets anywhere near killing that. Like, you haven't triggered finisher or anything yet, so, like, his first attack is an additional die. Yeah, I'm just not seeing this. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're going to get a lot out of this feat, but I'm skeptical at the moment. I'm skeptical, and I think David's pretty happy about that feat happening and not catching, like, 2 units.
Right.
So... Chat is talking about Tiberian blocking the Hellmouth pulls on Morgul. Morgul is def 17, and Hellmouth tentacles are mat 6. Maybe he's 16 now. But either way, like, I would be fine. If somebody wants to try and punch Morgul with a Hellmouth tentacle or 2, I have no problem with that. Like, yeah, he's a 16, so they need 10s. And I don't think there's a mat buff on that side. Thug Rush 1, I don't think has anything for that. So... yes, Gorag plus Blightbringer. Yeah, like, I don't like it. Can we go to the top-down view and let's try and find Gorag? I think he's in this middle unit that got blinded. I think that's him right there. So that seems like a pretty far 10-inch run with a thing. So you can get a Blightbringer AoE. You need an 8. I still don't like that. Like, it takes your Blightbringer activation and your Hellmouth, and you need to roll an 8. And if you do roll an 8, like, there's no guarantee you actually kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't really have a lot of follow-up, right? You could shake a Golab and maybe get it done. But, yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. So we got our tentacles coming out. It looks like... Okay, so we placed the tentacle contesting the flag. That's pretty good. I didn't see that one coming. Which is great. Yeah, I feel like Morgul could have just even stayed up there, right? Like, it would have been fine. Like, if we're going to feat, let's get really aggressive about it, and let's get super far in there. Let's find... Where is... Here he is. Here he is. This is the guy that I'm looking for. Amok is right here to stop the shadow play stuff from Morgul. So Morgul can really just do whatever he wants over here, right? Like, he can go this way, he can go this way, he can go this way, and he can go through this building, he can go through Tiberian. Like, all that's great. So... Golab did shake blind. I don't know. I think David's looking to put Golab into a place where he's going to get killed this turn, so that next turn he can feed him back with Thagrosh 1 and kind of get that value out of it. So, but yeah, I think this feat was too aggressive. I think you could have played a positioning game and gained just as much as you gained from this feat. So. Yeah. Blightbringer's going now. Looks like he's going to try and shoot Markath. Yep, just looks like he's trying to snipe out Markath here. And this is what I was talking about. If we had gone for this tentacle instead of this tentacle, or this Hellmouth for the mortality, we would be here right now, or maybe even like here, right? So this would not be a possible shot. You get to keep your Markath for another turn,
Right.
and maybe you don't kill this Hellmouth, right? But like if you just kill all 3 of the tentacles and then back up, like it gets 1 tentacle out, that's fine. You don't score your point, whatever. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So I think this is just little plays, right? Like little decisions, little choices that are getting made.
So Markath is down. He's boosting the damage on the cavalry that's also in the AoE.
And did 1 damage to the Ferox.
How big a loss is Markath?
Yeah, like I think Markath is fantastic for Morgul, and I think losing him this early, like now we're gonna get like no, not the Gladiator. like I feel like we've traded so much for 1 Hellmouth. Like that Southern Hellmouth has claimed a Markath. It might get that Archidon, and yeah, it just man, I don't know. Yep, and now the Gladiator's getting pulled in. And gets bitten by the Hellmouth itself. Yeah, so now Golab's going to finish off that Gladiator, probably. And I guess 1 or 2 of the Warmongers can get in there if they need to. So that Gladiator's probably gone. And that's a big deal, because now Tiberian's threat range is super low. It's back down to like, 9 inches? Yeah. No. 10 inches. 10 inches? I can't even read anymore, Lyle.
Some amount of inches.
A number of inches. So Golab's getting in there. Hit him for 8 damage on his first attack. Golab should make short work of this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, no problem. No problem. David's also rolling pretty well, but I have no doubt that this Gladiator's dying to Golab. And then he's either... Like, so we talked about earlier how we wanted to get aggressive with Golab and put him in a place where Steven has to kill him, right? So that you can use your feet. So my question is, do you think we sprint forward or do you think we sprint backwards?
Backwards.
You think we go backwards?
Well, the
and
reason
just not use the feet just yet?
I mean, the reason I'd say that is just like he's already gained such an advantage.
Sure.
That he can start playing really conservatively, I think.
Okay. Or we're just not going to lightning strike at all.
Yeah.
That is apparently an option. Looks like we're charging with these Warmongers. This is kind of what I was saying earlier, right? Like this placement right here, I think was too aggressive. Mm-hmm. You're not gaining anything for this, right? Like this is like if you put this guy here, this unit of Warmongers has to deal with that guy. This guy doesn't matter. Like, you're not jamming him out of anything running this way. They don't have Pathfinder. They can't get through this, so this doesn't do anything. So if this kitty had even gone there, you might have been able to block where you could put the tentacle, and then this one could end up basically where this guy is. And I think that would be a lot stronger of a play. because you just have a free Ferox, basically.
Right.
All right, he's just got enough distance to make it through that forest. And yeah, like, I think your best hope here is that this guy dies in one hit and then they berserk on each other. Right? Like, that's got to be your best bet. David, I think, has now realized the error of his ways.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to see those berserks.
Oh, he
Luckily, the first one misses.
perfectly misses his own
Yes.
guy. Needed a 6.
Nailed it.
It's so sad. I want to see them all die. All right. Gorag's unit. Okay, so he's going to use the mini feat, which is no quarter. Which does give him Pathfinder, which is apparently why David's using this, because the majority of that unit is blind. So they're definitely not going anywhere of particular excitement, right? And this is kind of why I don't like this feat. Like, we're not really gaining much from this. I feel like Steven overcommitted here. Marchant 06 is asking if the tentacle was blinded. It was not. It was on the other side of the forest from Morgul. All right, so David was not able to get into the zone. But he is going to claim him, that tiny little swordsman. The poor little guy is down. Berserk will claim a second. And once again, we talked about threat ranges and like how to position these models, right? So like you blinded this guy, so he doesn't matter. The war chief just took the flag, so great. But like, why are we giving these charges, right? Like, what do we gain out of this, right? Like, he's going to contest the zone either way because they can just run into the zone. So if we stayed back here, and even these models that were up here, we didn't gain anything. So if these models were here and here, here and here, for example, nobody would get any attacks. They would still have to run up into the zone, and then you get to punch them first, not the other way around.
Right.
So this is sort of that positioning threat range game that is so important in Warmachine. And this is it once again, right? So like, we've put this guy here. This guy is going to kill presumably these 3 swordsmen, and then when the counterattack comes, he is going to be the only one that dies.
Right.
These guys all back here, they're outside of the threat range. These swordsmen, they're not going to die. So whatever piles up on him, another little warmonger just goes in, lawnmowers them, keeps it all good to go. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here, where That's a properly positioned flank, essentially. Thagrosh is activating here. So I think this was a great turn for David. Like, he got to score both of his things. He scored his zone here. He scored his flag. He stopped Steven from scoring his flag. He stopped Steven from scoring his zone, which I think is perfect. And he positioned well so that the retaliation is not going to be significant. We're going to get this guy, bait model. This guy, bait model. Both of these guys will trigger vengeance for these units. If we still had Morgul's feet, like, what do we gain from the feet? Basically nothing.
Right.
If we had Morgul's feet now, Morgul could charge this guy, kill him, and then feet on all of this. And that would be significantly better. If Tiberian was more aggressively placed last turn instead of back here bodyguarding Morgul, like if he was here on this little corner, he would have had to have been dealt with. Then that maybe would have made our feet here worth it. I don't know. I can't say. But I feel like the feat was very aggressive, and I feel like our Tiberian positioning in response to that feat was a little too timid, basically, for how aggressive the feat was. And the Gladiator getting pulled was just very, very sad, right? We might be able to get a Golab here, but we talked about we kind of want our Golab to die this turn because then we get the feat next turn. So I think David's fine with that. And I think this is really going to come down to, like, what kills this tentacle, which frees up these cavalry, and then can these cavalry get into these warmongers and kill probably this many of them? If this guy's alive, that's fine. If all of these die, we're doing okay. Otherwise, it's a little questionable. Our rule breakers popping up. We might get a puppet strings. We might get a hardened flesh. Puppet master onto Morgul. That's probably for a rerolled mortality, if I had to guess. Like, now that Markath is done, that's a little sad. And the Immortal Vessel just got Pathfinder. So let's head over to the overhead view here, and let's see what we think we can do. So how can we generate value? Step one, don't commit a bunch of swordsmen to this guy, because they'll all just die for free.
Right.
So I think you give them like maybe these two, and they both combo strike, and maybe you kill him. Hopefully you kill him. Or, honestly, maybe Morgul kills him. Yeah, I don't think... Does Morgul just have Lightning Strike or Sprint? I don't think so. I feel like that's something we talked about once, but... We have our Archidon still, so that's good. Yeah, he does not just have Lightning Strike. So we've got our Archidon, so we still have Lightning Strike available. So this could be a cast Lightning Strike, charge over here, kill this guy, come back to about there. I think Tiberian could try and get in here, but I think this is too far. Like, this is 12 inches, right? Tiberian threatens 9, so, like, maybe this guy's in range. I doubt it. That would be a fine charge. I'd be fine with that. Kill those two. Position aggressively. Maybe get charged by, like, 2 of these guys in the back, 1 in the front, and then Golab comes in, maybe kills you. I doubt it, though. Like, so I think Tiberian getting up here is important. We need to kill this tentacle. We need to kill this guy. And we need to not use a lot of resources doing it. And we are very quickly running out of models.
Yeah.
Very quickly. So
there's a lot of dead models back there.
Yep. We talked about how this was going to kind of be a game where everyone was going to grind. Steven's not grinding particularly well at the moment. David is grinding very, very well. He's using positioning and using sort of this spread out that you can get with the 3 units of Warmongers very effectively. Here we go. We got our run. This is probably going to be a mortality on the Go Lab, and I think that's going to be the plan here. All right. And people in chat are saying that the feat last turn made no sense. I'm not going to say that it made no sense, but I think if you were going to feat last turn, you needed to play a lot more aggressively with your other models to make it worthwhile. Oh no, Morgul rolled a 3 on his charge attack. He got the reroll on the Puppet Master. And, of course, Morgul has Grievous Wounds, so he goes down. That will trigger Vengeance for that unit. And there's the Lightning Strike we talked about. Yeah. So I think these swordsmen need to make sure that this tentacle dies, for sure. So that Morgul's safe. I mean, you could place a tentacle and then go in there, but once again, you're trying once to roll an 8. It's not great odds. I'm going to bet these two guys can finish that off. God, I'm just really worried about all this. Like, it's going to be really rough, I think. Yeah. So Tiberian's going to kill a Warmonger and a Tentacle this turn, is what this looks like to me. He did pass a tough check, rolled box cards on the shield damage roll to clean him up. And then we're going to tusk the Tentacle here. All right, so the Tentacle's down as well. And, man, God, it's just... I think I got a serious case of the feel-bads right now, Lyle. I got a serious case of the feel-bads. Like, I think Steven is just... He's not being aggressive enough when he should be, and he's being too aggressive in other places. So I would be really worried about Morgul right now. And the reason I would be really worried about it is this whole unit's going to Vengeance, and this whole unit's going to Vengeance. So, like, Gorag, who's hanging out right here, walks 3 inches, runs 10 inches, and then you get charged by 5 Warmongers.
Right.
And that seems like real bad times for Morgul. So you get the +2 to hit from the Blightbringer and the +2 to hit from Gorag. And then I think this guy's even a veteran leader. So, like, you're just mad a million. And Morgul, I think, is on 0, maybe 1. So I think David's really high up on scenario and probably has a very legitimate assassination next turn. So I think this game is going to come to a close pretty quick. And here's our Archidon punching up on Golab there. Looks like it did not go as well as we had hoped. Praetorians are charging, and I think this is, like, they might kill a couple of these Warmongers, but I don't think anything huge is going to come out of this. Because I think the Vengeance, any that do get up there, will just kind of clear the charge paths. So, like, even if he kills one or two of these Warmongers here, I don't think it's a big deal. I think David's still fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
What I do like is that we're not just killing the one model each out of both units, right? To trigger Vengeance, like that would be really sad. At least we're getting two models out of each, maybe. Yeah, we're checking line of sights here to see if we can get around that forest. I think the more these guys die, the better. Actually, I think that's Gorag.
So if you have your Praetorians where they started out this turn, and Morgul's kind of in threat of being assassinated.
Sure.
We could be using him to scream Morgul instead. And that would set Morgul up to chop down a bunch of Warmongers in retaliation if, like, the Warmongers do come in and kill the Praetorians.
That's true, but because Warmongers have Berserk, they don't have to commit very many.
It's true.
Right? Like, they only commit maybe like 2 or 3 Warmongers in there to kill the remaining 6 or 7 guys. And I think if you are going to try and jam these guys out, you don't jam Warmongers by standing in front of them. You jam Warmongers by standing in front of your models because they have Berserk, right?
No,
so
right.
like, and the Vengeance, right? So like, if that unit Vengeances and there's 2 swordsmen standing in front of it, they're just going to kill the 2 swordsmen.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. You have to put them in front of Morgul if you want them to survive.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
They
like,
jam up their own models.
They block the landing spots for Warmongers around Morgul.
Yeah. And if like 1 or 2 Warmongers get to Morgul, like fine. You'll get hit once, maybe twice. You'll probably live. You'll be fine. Especially if you have like 1 transfer. I'm not sure how many he's got. But yeah, right now I feel bad for that poor guy. That poor Morgul. He's going to take his little fan and just flutter right out of here. We have a Dallas Kemp came down to say hi to the stream booth. Hi, Dallas. He waved. Hi, chat. Yeah, so if that charge had killed Gorag, that would have been the dream. But because it didn't, I am skeptical.
Uh-huh. Keeps getting worse.
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily worse. It just isn't better, right? Like,
I mean, better is worse.
Sure. Yeah, as you do things, I guess. Looks like these are advances and then hops. We do have some callouts in chat that saying all this stuff is great, but when you're actually in the game there at the table, there's a ton of stress and a ton of pressure on you, and that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
And LCQ in particular is a super grueling event. I know we're early in the event, but just the mental state you have to be in for this kind of tournament is pretty tough. It's kind of I think of it as kind of a rite of passage for Warmachine tournament players. Like, if you want to play a really grueling event, I don't know if there's one that's more grueling than LCQ.
Yeah, I would agree. It's one of the few Warmachine tournaments that actually plays to completion. Like, most Warmachine tournaments do like a cut to top 4 or something.
Right.
This one plays all the way out, so it's got an extra 2 or 3 rounds tacked on the end of it that most Warmachine players aren't used to. It's a giant event. It's like 120 plus people here today. And then it just goes right into the qualifier, the invitational, which we talked about earlier in the round here. Like, it's just a really, really, really tough event.
So if you come all the way out of LCQ to win the Invitational, you're talking about like a dozen rounds almost or something like that.
I think it's more than that.
Or more than that, yeah. It's almost a dozen just for LCQ.
Well, I think it's 8 for the LCQ. And then I think it's 4 or 5 depending on how many people are in the Invitational. So we just triggered Vengeance here too. This is really, really tough. Like, I would have loved to have seen like Radheim walk over here and punch that tentacle and then reposition back to the flag. Leave this unit alone, just put 1 cat right in front of it, and then charge over here with 2 cats to try to kill Golab. That's what I would have loved. Like, the 2 that were here, like there was 1 here and 1 here. they could make it to here. And then just one of them goes there. So, oh, he's going. He's going. Get him. So we are getting the -2 strength from Thagrosh here, which is what just happened down there with those cats. They are they were -2 strength, and then you also had the Blightbringer R for +2 armor. So it was not particularly great. Spread Team takes out Golab there, which should remove him from play, so no feat. And he removes him from play because of Masters of War. Yep, so Steven's going to score 1 point for his square zone. It does look like we got one. We did contest the flag. We did contest both zones, actually. So let's talk a little bit about reposition again here. Radim did reposition this way, and we've seen a lot of stuff about getting aggressive in times when you shouldn't get aggressive and stuff.
Right.
I don't like this, and the reason I don't like this is like a Thagrosh walk up and kill, and there's nothing that really threatens Thagrosh over here, right? Like, you can't get Morgul over there, you can't get Tiberian over there. This Archidon will almost certainly die. I mean, this is, of course, assuming that Morgul just doesn't die this turn, but right? But, like, this Archidon's not in a great place. So if Thagrosh just walks up here, kills this guy, their Vengeance kills one or both of them, their activation kills this other one, you have no models left on this entire half of the table. And this entire half is then just David's, right? Like, he's going to score his square every turn. You can't do anything about it anymore. You don't really have any models that can do anything about this anymore. And you're very quickly running out of models that can do anything about this. You've got Tiberian here, which is great. He's not going anywhere, but like, you're not scoring it for sure, and eventually Tiberian is going to die. Like, yeah, it just, yeah. So I think this is a fairly easy cleanup for David Smith here. And I think putting Radim forward just gives him these vengeance attacks against you and just makes it even easier for him to die.
Right.
And it doesn't really gain you anything, right? Like, you're not jamming him out of a zone or something. You're not gaining much for your life, basically.
What's the idea behind getting Radim up there, though?
I don't know. I think he's bidding for board position, right?
Sure.
We did get a dodge here. That's really good. I don't know why he didn't move straight backwards and just get out of everybody's melee range. I mean, I guess it could be just like get out of dodge and still keep these guys engaged. So we've missed again. This dodge is doing the Lord's work. It's not. But David did miss all the stuff. I mean, so let's see where he goes. And like, I feel like we've committed him so far at this point. Like, why wouldn't you just keep standing in the way? Why are we moving out of the way? I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm not seeing it, but I'm sure there is. Hellmouth Tentacle Time going in the back arc of the Archidon. Yep, kept both spells and kept 5. mean, I still think we could put at least 4 Warmongers on Morgul with -4 death.
Right.
So I'm not sure David's going to go for it, though. And I think when you're kind of this far ahead, I guess, like, why would you go for a risky play like that?
Right.
Should you just kind of sit back and grind even further? And I think that's what David's going to do. I think David can pretty easily clean this up, right? Like we just talked about that. You kill these models. You own this whole half the board. You make sure this guy dies, and then you're really safe. With Thagrosh can go basically anywhere he wants in here, and it's perfectly fine. I mean, this guy is kind of a beast, but yeah, just be careful about this guy specifically, and you're fine. So, yeah.
So he's activating the Blightbringer. Just going to back him up a little bit. He's drawing line of sight to Tiberian.
So it does look like he's going to go for it then, if that's what he's doing, right? Chat does bring up a good point. Musa HS says assassination will save brain power for future rounds of the event.
Yeah, that is a good point, really.
That is really true. And we've been talking a lot, Lyle, about how this is like a really grueling and tough event because it's just so long, right? And I think that's a really, really good point. The swordsman officer is still alive. He got caught in that blast damage.
Yeah, he took 2, though.
It doesn't look like Morgul is in it, though, so he doesn't get the -2 defense.
See if we can get a little bit of a better shot on that.
Yeah, he's definitely
he's
not
out.
in it. Definitely not in it.
So that unit leader's dead now.
Yep. But not the officer, just
not the
normal
officer,
unit leader, yeah.
right.
So he just field promotes right back in. So we did use the +2 strength and armor aura on the Blightbringer. So it looks like we're going to try and kill Tiberian here. And I think once Tiberian goes down, David can just kind of run this table. There's not a lot left. Can really affect it, his war beasts and stuff. So I think he can just get really aggressive. Ooh, that maw is angry. Hit him for 9 damage. Nom, 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 nom. Woo. Just a couple of hit points left on that Archidon. So I think like 1 or 2 Warmongers into the Archidon and then everybody else into Tiberian. Pretty good.
Yeah.
David's trying to check charges.
What's he looking at charging?
He's trying to see if he can charge the Ferox and get 3 inches and stay in its melee range.
Oh, sure.
And the answer was probably not from himself. And this is what I was talking about. We already committed this strat. Why is he moving away and unjamming these guys, right?
Right.
So we're going to charge in there. We're going to try and take out this Archidon. And then I'm going to bet these guys, they don't actually get their 3 inches, but they're going to just kind of shimmy around. Using a Hellmouth Tentacle to proxy out the Warmonger charge here. Trying to see if he can actually charge that guy and get his 3 inches. I'm not sure he actually wants to, because 1, he might get a free strike, and 2, like, you get a million attacks over there. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like his positioning is okay on the free strike front. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, let's calm down there, dude. Calm down. Don't take any weird free strikes. So here we go. We apparently did get one charge. Looks like it hits with a 10. And he's down. And we didn't harden flesh, so no tough.
No tough. So that was that a berserk attack that missed after that?
Yep. He
Nice.
missed with the snake eyes. He hits the other kitty cat. We're checking range to see if we have the +2 strength. We do not. Didn't kill it. Super sad. He only did 3 damage there. The kitty cat will continue contesting the zone. And hits the Archidon. Power 16. I think it's dice off 1. That should clear him. 11 damage. Yep. There we go. We got a Berserk.
Archidon.
He does not kill the Hellmouth.
He's got some pretty sick skill with his berserk attacks against his own stuff.
He's been practicing missing a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
Yep. So the fact that that cat lived is unfortunate, but I don't think David's too upset about it.
Right.
Like, I think it's fine.
I mean, we're talking about 1 control point, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, and like, I feel like David would be much more concerned about that if he was losing on scenario at the moment, but I think he's going to go up pretty far, and this game is pretty in the bag, I think. We talked a little bit last round about how it's really difficult to call Warmachine games, right? Because, like, we had called Sloan as being way far behind, and then she ended up on coming back and winning on scenario because his opponent didn't contest very well, didn't really score very many points of his own. I don't think we're going to have a situation like that here. I think David's doing very, very well. Yeah, so we just charged 5 Warmongers at Tiberian. But yeah, I think David's really far up on attrition. He, after this turn, is going to be pretty far up on scenario, and he's not really in any danger at all of assassination unless somehow Radheim lives, and then the dream happens.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, God, it would be so good.
That would be amazing.
You, like, charge an Armor Pierce, roll an 18, one-shot the Blightbringer with the transfer. Like, oh, my God, that'd be so good. I would love to see that. That would be absolutely fantastic. He's doing 6 damage to the 4 with that last one. He's got 2 more charges. Tiberian might live. There's another unit over there that can charge him, though. Did 1 damage. He's got to crank this damage roll pretty well.
Roll hard.
Oh, 9 is not enough. Did 6 damage. Needed 9 total. He only needed to roll a 12, actually. That's not too bad.
3 boxes
Not
left
too
on
bad.
Tiberian.
We got another proxy base coming in. Looks like they're happy with it. He's going to get into the aura.
So got some charges happening. Let's go to the overhead and see if we can see what's behind that building.
I'm guessing it's a few swordsmen. It is a swordsman. One swordsman. And it looks like they were out of range. So, like, once again, great positioning here. You stayed out of range. If they're going to come towards you, they have to get into your threat range. You can countercharge. That's exactly what you want when you're playing these threat range games. And that is the leader of the swordsman over there. We will take out Tiberian. That proxy base right there is, I believe, Gorag, is what they were saying between the players. But it might just be the normal unit leader model. They were unclear. So I believe he is now out of War Beasts on Morgul. I think those were the only 3 that he had. Archidon, Gladiator, and Tiberian. Yes. So this is really scary times for Morgul here.
Yeah.
Morgul might, however, kill all of those Warmongers next turn.
It could happen.
Which would be sweet.
It's kind of what Morgul likes to do.
Yes. Yep, so this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. I think Thagrosh can just walk over that wall and kill him. And then it's good to go.
So Thagrosh is attacking Radim
Over the wall.
over the wall.
This is how the dream happens, Lyle.
Right.
He misses, he dodges out. We get the dream. Oh, he didn't even boost. I don't think he realized what he just did. He should have boosted that. We're off the cat, which I think means we don't have dodge anymore. We placed him outside of melee from Thagrosh. He's still got that sweet spear. He could do it. Oh, Amok's going to give him the bop. Look, I'm just saying in CID, everyone told me this guy shouldn't have a weapon. But look at this. Look at this. He's killing one of the greatest heroes of the Scorn Empire. Oh, he got him.
Yeah. He was only -1, hit a 10 on the roll.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
And David will score 1 point, going to 3 control points. Yep. I like the really cautious play by David here. Like he's not he's not losing his mind. He's staying real calm.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's winning the game. He's just continuing to grind and play it well. That's a sign of a great player. Steven says there's not a whole lot he can do here, so he's going to try and score some scenario points for tiebreakers. Somebody in chat just asked if Radheim can dodge a wrench. I love it. I love it. He obviously can't dodge a club. So. We talked about this Willbreaker earlier, and how he was with the Ferox, which deployed somewhere around there, maybe a little farther back, right? And we deployed him centrally, which might have been to put Hardened Flesh on the Swordsman, but that never happened. So maybe not the best strategy. But like when he was here, if he had been deployed on this side of the Ferox instead of this side, like he could have been holding this flag the whole time, and you could be at like 3 points right now. Or you could have forced David to do all sorts of other stuff, right? So, yeah. So I feel like this Mortar Thirds could have been the one scoring points. Radheim could have gone in, got back out instead of dying to essentially nothing, right? Like these two models, they killed him, Thagrosh and Amok. If you just don't go that way, they don't get to make any attacks. So like it's just free attacks you gave David. Yeah, so that's sort of my assessment of what's happened here. Is this guy could have been a lot more efficient with his placement. We could have played these swordsmen a whole lot better here. We could have not given away a gladiator. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at for how to critically think about this game and what Steven could have done better here, and how to position and that kind of thing. Some sweet repositions. When we triggered that vengeance down there, those cats are probably not going to live through that. They got really lucky last turn.
Right.
They probably won't again. I mean, what does our assassination look like here? I don't think there's, like, I got nothing, right? For how Morgul kills Thagrosh. I'm not sure we can get a attack on him. Maybe the cat that was like somewhere over here. Like, I don't know. I think we're pretty out of luck on this one.
I mean, cats can get, they can get all over the place with that jump and everything, but not when they're wrapped up with warmongers.
Yeah, and we talked about this wall earlier, but like the wall ended up not affecting the Blightbringer very much because it just wanted to sit right here the whole game.
Right.
So that's great. If we had taken our battle group and swung it down this way, it's very possible this Blightbringer would have had to come forward. Then this wall could have been more relevant. But what it's doing now is Thagrosh is like standing behind this Blightbringer right here, and you got the wall, and you got the fat Blightbringer base. So like your only avenue of attack is over here.
Right.
So like if these cats were going to try and get over there and jump, like you only get one, maybe two in there if you're feeling particularly spicy. So I don't think the cats really had a great chance to get to Thagrosh.
No.
That's, once again, just one of those little minor positioning things from David. And if they want to attack Thagrosh over the wall, that's fine. Like, that dude's got pretty sweet defense. So that +2 is really relevant. Yeah. Looks like Gorak is down to 1. Oh, the Extiller's going to give him the laser eye.
Get him.
He's got the ghost shot, so we can shoot right through that forest. Looks like the vessel's going to do the same. A walk by Jake Van Meter there.
The legendary Jake Van Meter.
The legendary. You can see all the way on the back, way back here. This is our Champions event going on. I think that got another 40 or 50 people. Ooh, look at that. We got a scoreboard on the players.
Magic.
Beautiful. Hellmouth is going to take 3 damage. As pointed out in chat, that was indeed a handsome fez. A very nice fez. It looks like Steven's really feeling the pressure here. He's not really sure what he can do, what he should do. He's got 1 or 2 swordsmen that can get in there, and then Morgul's going to try and clean up some Ogren, but I'm just not seeing it work out for him. So we're positioning a Morgul base here to try and stab as many of these to death as possible.
That's my stabbing sound.
Yeah, that's Lyle's stabbing sound, just in case anyone was wondering. There were hand gestures that accompanied. I really like David's play here with Amok, because there could have been like an apparition plus shadow play plus charge through all these ogres. But with Amok there, you cannot have incorporeal. So, there you go. Oh, nope, this is Swordsman. I'm sorry, this was not Morgul charging. He's moving in there. Those angry swordsmen killing warmongers. More combo strikes coming out here. Chopping up these warmongers. They're not particularly durable models.
No.
So if you do get to hit them, they go down pretty quick.
So someone in chat is asking the real questions.
Oh.
On a table that size, is it worth having the extra space for cards and tokens? Or is it not worth the reach? That's some hard-hitting questions.
Sure, yeah. I personally think it's worth it, but I have long arms.
Yeah, I like it too. But I mean, really what it comes down to is when you're setting up a convention, most places have 30-inch tables.
Yep.
That's a hard-hitting answer. Now, some places have 30 inches and 18-inch tables, and those make your perfect 4-foot. But
Yep.
for the most part, you're going 30 and 30.
Yep. At least in America.
Right. There you go. There's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Although somebody pointed out it's better for streaming because there's fewer tokens and widgets on the table.
Absolutely.
I think it's better for streaming, but it's also better for the play experience. Like, for my personal play experience. I don't like all the stuff on the table.
Yep, absolutely agreed. I also think these players are being pretty tidy, right? Like everything is staying back here. Mm-hmm. I've seen WARMACHINE games where it's like this much isn't tokens, right. And then just everything else is full tokens, and it's like, guys, like let's get this under control, please. Mm-hmm. Dear God. Rex for the win, also bringing up the perfect questions. I imagine a Final Destination movie where a player trips and is impaled by Thagrosh while leaning over a table. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh my God, he's going to kill everybody. It's so good. We've got some flashing blades going on here. A Sailor Twift asks, are the British players still undefeated at the LCQ? I do not have that information, unfortunately.
They're undefeated in my heart.
Lyle's heart undefeated. Good old Morgul, just cleaning it up. Oh, we're seeing if we're going to get charged by Thagrosh here. I think that's like, I think for Steven, that is legitimately the best case scenario for him, right? Like if Thagrosh charges Morgul, fails to kill him, and then you stab him to death.
Right.
Like I would never charge Morgul with Thagrosh in this play situation right now, ever.
No. I mean,
like you just back up and win on scenario.
right. Like right now he can win without dice.
Correct, and that is always the correct play in competitive War Machine. Do the thing that doesn't require you to roll dice, and do the thing that doesn't get your caster killed.
Right.
Very important. No Howard in chat asks, is the stream schedule posted anywhere for this event? The stream schedule is not, but the event schedule is posted on the War Machine Weekend website. And we are going to be following those rounds with the stream schedule. So whereas not everything runs exactly on time here, it's usually pretty close. And that will give you kind of a I guess, a snapshot or an idea of what might end up happening there.
Yeah, and Tony, producer, pointed out that we can say that we're pretty much streaming all event long. I mean, we'll have some breaks between rounds and stuff like that. But we've got LCQ for most of today. We've got some Company of Iron stuff tomorrow, I believe, and we've got other tournament coverage on Sunday.
I think we've got LCQ in the morning tomorrow.
Right. How can I forget?
have...
Because LCQ never ends.
Correct.
Oh, Tony says Company of Iron or LCQ, depending on the schedule.
Sure. Yes, which I think will probably also depend on how many rounds the LCQ is.
Right.
And then we will have the Invitational on Sunday. We will not be streaming the Invitational Sunday or Saturday night. And we will have a couple games of like staff games and other sort of quirky fun stuff going on. On Saturday night.
Like the traditional Tim Simpson game?
Absolutely, where he beats another Privateer Press employee on stream and then refuses to challenge me.
Right.
I'll start the talking now. How about that?
He's got to pick off the easy marks.
Yep. Added notches to his belt.
I mean, we know that Tim Simpson cannot beat Will Pagani.
Oh.
We know it.
I know it in my hardest of hearts.
I mean, it's also why he's never challenged me, frankly.
Sure. Because he can't beat me?
No, because he can't beat me either.
Oh, it's you this time. Okay.
Yeah.
So according to Hungerford, his plan is to like tag me in mid-game and just like leave me with a disaster. So we'll see how that goes. These Warmongers are vengeancing here. They took out a swordsman up at the top. These Warmongers down here at the bottom are going to try and clean up these cats. I would guess that David is going to score 3 points this turn and win the game. I think he's going to get this one, right? Like, that's easy peasy. He actually probably got that one at the end of well, no, I guess the swordsman was over there. But, like, this seems like a pretty easy cleanup. This doesn't have a whole lot of stuff, right? Like, it's got a Tyrant Commander, a flag, and an Immortal. This Warmonger can just wander over there. I would probably put the Hellmouth Tentacle over here just to help out. But I think between all of this stuff, it shouldn't be too hard to kill these 3 models. Kill these 2 models. Even the freaking Blightbringer over here, my God. We can finally commit it to battle.
Right.
And I think that's a pretty easy 3 points to win the game. So
So Barskamanen is saying universal con time is whatever the schedule says plus 25 minutes. That is someone who knows a lot about cons.
That is true.
Because that is damn correct.
Yeah. We are checking on the control points to see exactly how many got scored everywhere to update these things.
And we just got confirmation the score is 3-2. We're updating that right now.
Great. Yep, these two Ferox down here have lived for an incredibly long time. Where did Morgul go? Oh, we got Hellmouthed. That's amazing. I would still not get anywhere near that guy. Like, I think that's like the best way to lose this game. And Mock's going to get out of the way. Oh, man. Can we go to the top-down view? This is like... Oh, he's going for it.
Nope. Where is Morgul in this mess?
So Morgul's right here. He's this proxy base.
All right.
They're checking to see if you can get Morgul within Withering Ash without having to run,
Uh-huh.
because the Blightbringer is very slow. It is speed 5, which means it cannot actually walk over that wall. So it's kind of funny that wall is coming into play.
Yeah.
That I called at the very beginning of this game.
Yeah, you called it at the beginning.
Okay, so the Blightbringer cannot make it close enough just by advancing, so he's going to shoot the Hellmouth. He could also just run. I don't know. Sure. Whatever. He's boosted to hit the Hellmouth. So this will be -2 defense to Morgul. Hellmouth takes 2. And we're boosting damage on Morgul.
Six damage to Morgul.
And he has no transfer targets.
And, right, no transfers.
So we do have a Warmonger coming in. So this guy here might even be in the back arc. But we're going to cross out the Morgul here. This is actually Morgul right there. All right. There we go. David wins on Assassination without having to commit Thagrosh. I think that's very important.
Right.
I mean, I guess if he only had a couple hit points left, I maybe would have gone for it with Thagrosh. But yeah, so a very well played game by David. Like he did a phenomenal job positioning. Lost very few models in that sort of trade fight that ended up happening in that north zone.
Right.
The south zone, he dealt with the Ferox very, very well with positioning and Hellmouths and all that kind of stuff. So really overall, great game for David.
Yeah, and he stayed
Great
calm.
game
He
for David.
never got flustered, and he stayed in control of that whole match. Really.
Yes. And I think a lot of players kind of get complacent. They're like, oh man, I'm doing really great. And then they can get sloppy. And David just kept his cool the whole time and just stayed super chill. So that's awesome.
So congratulations to David for the win.
Absolutely. Stephen, well played. That is the end of round 2 of the LCQ. We were pretty low on time in that game, so I would guess round 3 will get kickstarted here in just a little bit.
Pretty soon, so
stay tuned.
keep watching. We'll be back with some more LCQ action.
Absolutely. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.